So let's address it, Weezy. I'm glad you brought that up because that is the turn that I took. So at this point, who gives a who Eboni K. Williams is dating? Let's throw that over to the side because it's irrelevant.
That's your preference. I agree.
And right. Who gives a right?
Okay. Did y'all hear that?
All right, we back. Now, today, man, we're going to talk about it. I got to stand corrected, my brothers. I got to stand corrected. You know, the past couple days, we've been talking about the Eboni K. Williams situation. And like I said in my last video, I don't have a problem with the fact that she wants to be with a black man. That's the top of the top, the cream of the crop. I never shame women for wanting to be with the best. I believe that's a natural desire to have. The only thing I said was, Eboni K. Williams, you claim to be Miss Pro-Black, Black Power. Your book is called Bet on Black, Black Community, Black Family, Generational Wealth, Chattel Slavery. The only thing I said was, do you think a successful black man, an intelligent black man, a black man of high status, do you think out of all the women that he has options to choose from, do you think he's going to settle? Do you think he's going to relegate himself for the white man's trash? Do you think an intelligent, successful black man is going to settle for a woman that talks that pro-black, black power nonsense, but you sleep white? Your actions don't match your words. Your actions don't match your rhetoric. I don't got a problem with the fact that you want to be with the best. It is what it is. Everybody want to be with the best. But out of all the women that a man could choose from, do you think he would attach himself to you, a counterfeit, a fraud, a fake? I don't think so. Also in my video, I also said, black women, they never call each other out when they exhibit this contradictory, hypocritical, double-minded, double agent type of behavior. Because we all know, if a black man came around talking all this black power, black family, black generational wealth, the black community, and he has a white woman on his arm, I guarantee you, everybody's gonna have something to say. But when it's the other way around, when you got somebody like Eboni K. Williams talking black, but she's sleeping white, nobody's gonna have nothing to say. And I pretty much said, women, y'all never call each other out. And for that reason alone, I said pretty much all pro-black women, I placed the majority of you guys in the same boat. Y'all remember in my videos from the other day, I said the majority of them pro-black women, they run a game, they counterfeit, they frauds, and they fake. And they never call each other out. But today, I gotta swallow my words. Shay Sade, shout out to her. She actually tried to hold Eboni K. Williams accountable, and today we're gonna talk about it. Now, I believe Shay Sade is married. She's married to a black man, so she's not one of these fake pro-black, black power, black community, but I'm laying up with the white man. It's not that type of party. You know what I mean? She's not one of these fake pro-black con artist grifters, black fist up in the air, black power with the white dick up in the mouth. It ain't that type of party. It ain't that type of party. You know what I mean? So today I'm gonna be reviewing a video she put out, and let's get into it, man. Run the footage. Let's go.
Address it, Weezy. I'm glad you brought that up because that is the turn that I took. So at this point, who gives a about who Eboni K. Williams is dating? Let's throw that over to the side because it's irrelevant.
That's your preference. I agree.
And right. Who gives right? So now let's talk about my real work in this world.
Okay, I wanted to replay that because I wanted to make sure y'all had it. Up to this point, she's been talking about black empowerment, building the black community. We literally, she says, get together. Black community is invincible when we get together. That's actually one of the little subtitles in her book if you go on Amazon. So all this idea of let's get together, let's join, let's build, let's empower. And then it comes to the topic of her relationships. And she's like, who gives a F who I date? What does it matter? Who cares? If you believe in black empowerment, who you date is essential to your overall goals. Who you marry is essential. If you believe in a black community and empowering a black community in generational wealth, then you actually have to have generations for the wealth to go to. And if you're not even procreating black kids, then how are you gonna sit here and talk about you believe in black empowerment? This is why I think, to me, this is not really serious. Because we can talk about all this whole pro-black, men aren't doing this, men aren't doing that.
Now, brothers, I gotta stand corrected. Because you know, on my last couple of videos, I said a woman will never call another woman out on her fraudulent counterfeit behavior. I said that, and I gotta come back. I gotta swallow my words. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. I gotta come back to the stage. I gotta come back on the podium, and I gotta stand corrected. Now, take a look up on the screen. I want to go back to one of those excellent comments that I got on my last couple of videos. This brother right here said, the reason why Eboni K. Williams says all that black stuff is because she knows much of what she says will resonate with the most responsible black men, many of which are rich and successful. This is something that is extremely common that I run into on a frequent basis, and I'm sure a lot of you brothers run into the same thing as well. You meet a new chick, she's talking all this black empowerment, black power, black fists up in the air, generational wealth, the black family, the generational effects of slavery, and then you find out that she was running around with the same group of men that she claims is responsible for everything we're going through. And going back to what I said in my video the other day, all groups of men, the most powerful group of men, the elite group of men, the group of men that Eboni K. Williams says she wants to be with, those men, they keep it inside the race. They keep it inside the family. I even did a video on that. We went through the list of the top 12 most powerful, most wealthy black men according to Forbes that we know of. Of course, we know there are many men who have undercover wealth that we don't know about. But the men who are on the Forbes list, top 12 most powerful black men, all of them are with black women. All of them have children with black women. And damn near all of them are married to black women. And the same thing goes for all other groups of men. The most wealthy white men, the most wealthy Chinese men, the most wealthy Jewish men, the most wealthy Arab men. Every group of men that occupy that elite sector of society, they keep it inside the family. They keep it inside the race. They keep it inside their culture. And you could even go back to the creation of the one-drop rule. Take a look up on the screen. The one-drop rule is a legal principle of racial classification that was prominent in the 20th century United States. It asserts that any person with even one ancestor of black ancestry is considered black. Now, why do you think the one-drop rule was created? The one-drop rule was created because powerful, wealthy, elite white men, they wanted to keep their wealth, their power, their prestige inside the race. So even if they wanted to go off and have some fun and deal with a black woman and she popped up pregnant, he wanted to make sure that those mixed race kids, those mixed race mongrels will never, ever, ever get 1 cent of inheritance because they keep in the power and the wealth inside the race. And that is how powerful men operate. People who are really serious about accumulating power and maintaining power, they don't operate like Eboni K. Williams. Oh, who cares? Who cares what I'm doing? Who cares I'm having sex with white men? Who cares I'm having sex with white people? Who cares? Because guess what? Like I told you, Eboni K. Williams, she doesn't come from power. She is new money. Eboni K. Williams and the women like her, they are new money. And what do I mean by new money? Eboni K. Williams herself, she admitted her mom was a bus driver. Her grandparents were some farmers. So a woman like her, she has no wealth and power and prestige to protect. She has the mindset of a scavenger. She'll attach herself to anybody and anything if it means rising up the social ladder. She doesn't have any family treasures to protect. So when you hear women like this talk all this black power, black generational wealth, the black family, they just trying to run game on you, my brother. They don't mean none of that. Let a white man come around and offer them the world. They gonna throw that black power shit in the garbage can. And for those of y'all who've been following me for a very long time, I told y'all the story. One of my Jewish homies, he had told me his mother would not accept him bringing any woman home who was not Jewish. So when he reached a certain age, his late 20s, and he began to get serious about starting a family, finding a wife, things like that, he actually relocated to a different location with a higher population of Jewish women because it was that serious to him. I'm not saying that's how all Jewish men do it. I'm just talking about my one particular homie, but I'm saying that's the mindset. He didn't have the mindset of Eboni K. Williams. Oh, who cares? Oh, who cares? I know. He was like, listen, I got to find me a Jewish woman and we're going to raise my children in the Jewish faith. And we're going to keep this Jewish money inside the Jewish family. And me, myself, I'm the same way because I got family treasures to protect. So once it's time for me to get serious and start a family, listen, I'm keeping it inside the family. And besides the economic aspect, when I look at history, all the black men that I respect, all the black men that I idolize, all the black men that give me motivation and inspiration, when I look at the women they had by their side, they had a black woman by their side. When I look at men like Marcus Garvey, when I look at men like Malcolm X, when I look at men like Toussaint Louverture, when I look at men like King Henry Christophe, when I look at men like General Dessalines, and I see the woman they have by their side, listen, who am I to go against tradition? When I see all the greatest black men of all time, they had a black woman by their side. Who am I to go against tradition? That's just my mindset personally. And I don't even call myself pro-black because like I told you, pro-black, it doesn't have any meaning anymore. These women have turned pro-blackness into a game, into a hustle, into a con. It doesn't have any meaning anymore. It's a grift. Pro-black is for frauds now. These women who say they're pro-black, they frauds. They frauds and they fakes. And I don't want to be associated with that fraudulent ideology anymore. I'm pro-intelligence. I'm pro-empowerment. But that pro-black shit, I'm cool, man. That shit's a clown show. That's a clown show. These pro-black women, they talk pro-black, but their actions never match the rhetoric. The actions never match the words. So I don't want to be associated with this fraudulent ideology. I'd rather back it up by my actions. I'm not going to back it up with a bunch of talking, blah, 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 yap, yap, yap. Because we can just look at Eboni K. Williams and the women who agree with her, and you can see that pro-black nonsense is a bunch of bullshit. And going back to the one-drop rule, like I said, the one-drop rule was created because elite, wealthy, and powerful white men, they wanted to keep their wealth and power inside the race. But you see, women like Eboni K. Williams, they use the one-drop rule. They say, listen, I can go and date a white man because my kids will be black because of the one-drop rule. They used the one drop rule as an excuse to go date white men. But white men created the one drop rule as an excuse to make sure they mixed race kids never get a single cent of inheritance. So you see how the mindset of the powerful think versus the mindset of the powerless? White men created the one drop rule to consolidate their power. But women like Eboni K. Williams, who have the mindset of a scavenger, they use the one drop rule as an excuse to attach themselves to white men. Oh, I can date white because my kids will be black because of the one drop rule. But if Eboni K. Williams really cared about black power for real, if she really cared about black wealth for real, then she would know that's not how it works, baby girl. That's not how it works. Now, let's get back into the video.
You have no community if you don't have families. Families make communities. Multiple families, a collective of families is what defines a community. So when we get to the topic of the family, which is the foundation of the black community that she alleges to want to build, it doesn't matter who I date. Let's just forget about that. Let's just overlook, broad stroke. Let's just completely overlook what that is about. The problem is, if you don't have a community, then there is no generational wealth. You don't have a black family, then what are we even talking about? Like, this is all, it's just smoke in the mirrors at this point. All this black empowerment with generational wealth, we're doing it for our kids, we're doing all this different stuff. If you ain't having black kids, what are you even talking about? So to me, this is why I think this whole thing was kind of bunk. This whole thing was bunk, because I'm like, you really about to sit here and tell me that this is all about some black empowerment? You really believe in the well-being and the potential specifically of black men? Notice she doesn't really go into black men like that. Specifically of black men. And why? Why does she believe in black men? Because basically, women who go to college need to have men on their level. That's really the whole premise of her argument. Men who go to college need to have women on their level. She believes in black empowerment so much that she got engaged to a white man. And again, I'm saying, if you date or marry somebody outside of race, I'm not tripping, whatever, that's fine, do you. But also, you don't need to be leading the conversation. You got a white partner, you know what I mean? You don't need to be leading the conversation of building a black family when you're not building a black family yourself. This is why, to me, this entire thing is bunk. This entire thing, in my opinion, is about her promoting her book, Bet on Black, which she just happened to release earlier this year. Surprise, surprise. Not too long ago. And it's like, yes, she is definitely, in my opinion, trying to sell her book, because look at the actions. Do her actions show us that she truly cares not only in the empowerment of the black community, but of black men who she says she's advocating for? Does she care about them so much that she's not willing to date and marry one? Really?
Man, listen, I stand corrected. I can never again say that black women don't hold other black women accountable. I can no longer say that only black men's feet get placed to the fire, because listen, I gotta give it up. Round of applause. Shay Sade. I gotta give it up, man. I gotta give it up. She kept it all the way real. And besides just the video, let's take a look at some of the tweets she also put out on her Twitter account. Pro-black today has no meaning outside of the internet. You can be pro-black while insulting black men and swirling. Most people I know that actually believe in the betterment of their community are doing the footwork in real life and don't get caught up with such nonsense. And 1000%, that's why I said I do not attach myself to that ideology anymore. I do not place myself under that banner anymore, because I realize it's all a con game. It's full of con artists, it's full of dishonest people, it's full of hustlers, grifters, and a bunch of con men and con women. She also put out another tweet, which is kind of controversial. She said this: I think it's hard for women to understand the politics of mating and dating is unequal. We cannot operate like men and have the same results. Women who date out often take on the politics of the man they are with. Men can date and mate out, but still build their nation. It's not the same. Now, what does she mean by that when she says that men can mix and mingle and still build their nation? For example, take Thomas Jefferson, for example, one of the founding fathers of the United States. And as we know, he was running around putting his dick all up inside black women, or black girls, I should say, underage girls, I should say. They weren't exactly women. He was a pedophile after all, but you get what I'm saying. Move him to the side. Take my country for example. Haiti, the French colony of Saint-Domingue back in the day. Do you know that white Frenchmen had so much sex with black women that there was a whole army of mixed race men that fought up against Toussaint Louverture and Dessalines and Christophe? There was so much interracial relations happening in the French colony of Saint-Domingue that an entire army, there was a war. In 1799, take a look up on the screen. The War of Knives was a civil war from June 1799 to July 1800 between the Haitian revolutionary Toussaint Louverture, a black ex-slave who controlled the north of Saint-Domingue, and his adversary, Andre Rigaud, a mixed-race person of color who controlled the south. Louverture and Rigaud fought over de facto control of the French colony of Saint-Domingue during the war. Their conflict followed the withdrawal of British forces from the colony earlier during the Haitian Revolution. The war resulted in Toussaint taking control of the entirety of Saint-Domingue and Rigaud fleeing into exile. As we can see, the result of the war, a pro-Toussaint victory. Toussaint assumes control of the entirety of Saint-Domingue. Rigaud and the mixed-race officers flee into exiles, reprisals, and massacres against Rigaud supporters. That's crazy, my brother. Not only did we have to fight up against the white boys, we had to fight up against the mixed-race sons of the white men and the black women. Jesus Christ. Now, listen, we smacked them boys up, man. You see the result. They got smacked and they fled into exile. Now, keep in mind, there was some mixed-race brothers that was cool. You know, like I said, Dessalines' right-hand man, that was a mixed-race brother. Christophe's right-hand man, that was a mixed-race brother. But one thing you'll notice in their stories, their fathers were not really in their lives like that. But the mixed-race brothers, the ones who were embraced by their fathers and their father's side of the family, the ones who were accepted by their fathers, they were basically dark-skinned white boys, like Andre Rigaud. And that's why the Civil War happened. Because like I said, like Shay Sharday said, they take on the mentality of the man. The woman takes on the mentality of the man, and the children take on the mentality of the man. And that's why in 1799, we had to smack the dog shit out of the mixed race brothers and kick them the fuck out the colony. You goddamn right. Yeah, you goddamn right. But it didn't stop there, because after Dessalines was assassinated, the country was divided into two governments. Henry Christophe up in the north, as we all know, the most powerful black man of the last 500 years, and General Alexander Pétion in the south, another mixed race man with a black mother and a white father. And guess what? Alexander Pétion was a protege of Andre Rigaud. And as you already know, Christophe was a protege of Toussaint Louverture. And everybody knows about that debt that Haiti had to pay to the French slaveholders, the reparations that Haiti had to pay to the French slaveholders. And do you know who agreed to pay that debt to the French slaveholders? General Jean-Pierre Boyer, the son of a black woman and a white man. And if you watch my video the other day entitled Power versus Morality, King Henry Christophe case study, then you already know when the French tried to approach King Henry Christophe and negotiate for reparations, King Henry Christophe killed the French ambassador that came to his territory. But when the French went to the mixed race brothers, Jean-Pierre Boyer, Alexander Pétion, they were ready to negotiate. They were open to negotiations. And why is that? Just like Shay Sharday said, the woman is going to take on the ideology of the man, and the children is going to take on the ideology of the man. That's why over the past few centuries, white men have literally created millions and millions and millions of mixed race people. Millions of mixed race people. Whole entire countries full of mixed race people. And they've still managed to maintain their supremacy. Because in every civilization you go to where it's a mixed race population, you'll notice the children, the sons and daughters of black men and black women, they are relegated to the bottom of that society, the bottom of that caste system. With the whites sitting at the top, the mixed race individuals in the middle, the full-blooded blacks at the bottom. Because like Shay Sharday said, men can still mate and date and mix and mingle and still build their nation. Women, they can't do it. They're going to get sucked into the ideology of the man. They're going to get sucked into the culture of the man. And the children is the same thing. The children will get sucked into the culture of the man. That's why the 1799 Civil War happened in Haiti during the revolution. That's why the country was divided between the governments of Christophe and Pétion. And that's why General Jean-Pierre Boyer agreed to pay reparations to his French father, to his French grandfather, to his French uncles, to his French cousins, because they were raised by white men. Now, listen, man, it is what it is, man. Like I said, the jig is up, man. The jig is up. Everybody can see right through you fake pro-black chicks. You're not pro-black. You a fraud. You a fake. You a counterfeit. If we examine you under the light, we can see you a counterfeit like a $6 bill, man. So stop talking this pro-black, black power. Keep your goddamn mouth shut. Like Shay Sharday said, when we talk about black empowerment, sit in the back. Have a seat. Close your mouth when the real ones is talking, all right? Close your mouth. Open your ears. You're not qualified to speak. And in fact, before we get out of here, I think this is the perfect tweet to end the video, because it kind of brings everything full circle, and it makes sense why, like I said, you'll never see women hold other women accountable for their fraudulent counterfeit behavior. Take a look up on the screen. Shay Sharday said, Black women who challenge the sister code are absolutely bullied, shamed, and belittled. That's why it's rare to find a black woman who will openly speak about our flaws and failures, because there is a fear of communal backlash. And you know what? I had to sit back and I had to be like, you know what? I understand that. It makes sense now. So even if a woman actually sees what we see, they don't want to actually open their mouth and speak because they don't want that. They don't want that backlash. You know what I mean? They don't want to be shamed in public. They don't want to be belittled in public. They don't want to be insulted. They want to be degraded. I understand that. But it is what it is. Because of that, because of your silence, now you got to deal with the fact that we all look at you guys as all a bunch of counterfeit, fraudulent fakes. So it is what it is, man. It's your boy Never Card. That's the lean back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, cash app in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage. I got business, this shit is an art, and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with friends, cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.